is largely underway for the Las Vegas Raiders. There's a couple of questions that we are kind of looking at for the Raiders because, I mean, we try to be as real as possible on this channel, and despite the fact that the Raiders, there were some ups, there were some downs during the preseason timeframe, there's some things that we still have to ask ourselves. And there's a list of questions. We got 5 questions today on why are kind of like the burning questions. Like, what are the top questions facing the Raiders right now? And it starts, number one, with, is Gardner Minshew the answer? Because you look at the fact that, yes, Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew did battle off for the starting quarterback position throughout the preseason process. And yes, it was a new offense for everybody. And the Raiders named Gardner Minshew the starter, and to many surprise. And I honestly think that this could be a decision that comes back and bites him. But at the same time, I'm also intrigued to see what happens. It's like I'm kind of keeping both eyes slightly closed. We'll see what happens. But overall, is Gardner Minshew the answer? Can you win with Gardner Minshew? I think that's question number one. And if you can't, really, what does this quarterback room look like? Because this quarterback room doesn't need to be amazing. We don't need a Patrick Mahomes. It'd be nice, but we really largely only need a quarterback that can distribute the ball to the playmakers, cut down on mistakes, and avoid sacks, right? That's really what it comes down to. So I think that Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell being the answer is the top question facing this team right now. And unfortunately, if they don't get on the right process, if they don't start out on the fastest start, I think it could lead to bad things for the team. The second question and biggest question I have is, will the defense dominate like we think it will? Because yes, bringing in Christian Wilkins was a big-time find for the Raiders. They got Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz. The D-line I'm not worried about. The linebackers, the safeties, the corners, the talent's all there, but will it translate to the field? Will both the sides, all 3 phases, be able to come together and make a dominant defense? I personally think so, but with how, I don't want to say inert the offense could potentially be, I think the defense is going to have to carry a lot this year. So can the defense dominate in a position where it can make the most sense, where it can actually do some things? So that's going to be a big question for me. Number 3 is Jacorian Bennett and young players in year 2. So Jacorian Bennett, he's going to be he's penciled in as the starter at right corner, while Jack Jones is going to be on the left side. I really have a question about these younger players. It starts with Jacorian Bennett, then it goes to Tyree Wilson. It goes to a lot of these young guys, even the rookies this year, like Brock Bowers and all that. We'll get into him in a second. But, guys like Luke Masterson, Trayvon Morig, how are these younger guys going to come back, more specifically like Jacorian Bennett and Tyree Wilson in year 2? Are they going to be able to get things done? Are they going to be able to contribute? And how much have they grown in the past year? Because all reports coming out of camp and everything is that guys like Jacorian Bennett have looked good. Tyree Wilson, people are kind of on the fence about. But overall, I think that is going to be a big thing for this team. How does this particular draft class from last year continue to grow? Number 4, will Brock Bowers be good to go? Right now, he's been missing some practice. I think that Antonio Pierce has been kind of putting it off. He's not showing that he's worried about it, but Brock Bowers is, right now he's missing practice, and I think that's somewhat of a concern because, he's a playmaker. We saw it in the preseason. We think that, with everything going on, he could be a really big-time target for the Raiders. And if he can't play, that does put a lot of pressure on guys like Michael Mayer and company, but hopefully Brock Bowers is good to go for week 1. And we can go from there. But hey, that's another big question. Is Brock about your first round pick in 2024, is it good to go? And then finally, in my opinion, I think the top question facing the Raiders right now, number 5, is the young wide receiver contribution. So obviously, yes, you've got a lot of young talented wide receivers in Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers and everything. But the younger guys, I know I said younger, I meant older guys. The younger guys like Trey Tucker, guys like Tyreek McAllister, Ramel Keaton, those guys, to me, they were chosen for a purpose. I think Keaton is that big-bodied wide receiver that we need on the outside, and I also think that McAllister is that speedster kickoff returner that we really need to see what he is. And Trey Tucker, that extends down to him too. What are these young guys going to do? Are they going to flourish with their opportunity, and are they going to make the most of it? That is largely one of the biggest questions for me as the Raiders get ready to go into the regular season. But overall, let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next video.